Hey, this is Nikita Edwards with Faith Life Music, and we give you biblical perspectives on real life matters because your life matters. I want to talk about something that is dear to my heart, and I always just think about as a human being, we go through different seasons in life. We grow constantly and we lose sometimes things that cause us to, really feel burdened, even wondering sometimes, God, are you even there? Do you even see me? Do you even hear me? I want to talk about when you feel alone or you wonder if God is even seeing you. And I want to tell you, yes, He loves you. He sees you. He listens to you. And even when you don't feel Him working, behind the scenes He is. And let me give you a true example directly from the Bible, where the first time we ever see God be named El Roi, which means the God who sees. And that was in Genesis 16. Now, let me just backtrack and tell you what we're discovering. This is the story of Sarah, Hagar, the servant who was Egyptian, and then the husband Abraham. Now, Hagar is famous for this one particular thing. She was a servant, Egyptian, and she served the family Abraham and Sarah. Now, she's famous for the fact that Sarah took it upon her own matters and said, "You shall sleep with my husband and bear me a son." Now, first of all, we see Sarah just causing trouble because of that. She's telling her husband, sleep with the servant. And what does her husband do? He actually listens to his wife and does it. Now, she does become pregnant, and this causes contempt, so much even jealousy from Sarah, to the point that Sarah is mistreating Hagar, her servant, so much that she can't stay in the same camp, the same house anymore. Hagar actually fleds. She just flees the scene. Now, I want to read what happens after that moment when she's all alone by herself. Verse 7 in Genesis 16 says, "The angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, the spring on the way to shore. And he said, Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going?" She said, "I am fleeing from my mistress Sarai." The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her." Wait a minute. Return? Doesn't that mean I'm going back to the harshness, back to the mistreatment, back to where it all started, the fact that I'm even here right now running away? But let's read a little bit further, right? The angel of the Lord also said to her, "I will surely multiply your offspring so that they cannot be numbered for multitude." And the angel of the Lord said to her, "Behold, you are pregnant and shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has listened to your affliction. He shall be a wild donkey of a man, his hand against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, and he shall dwell over against all his kinsmen." Verse 13, "So she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her. You are a God of seeing, for she said, truly here I have seen him who looks after me." Therefore the well was called Bir Lahai Roi. Now, a couple things that I observe in this. First of all, she's a servant from Egypt, and God is able to, yes, even speak to another people, right? We read a lot about God being for the Israelites, but then it shows He appears to this Egyptian woman, uses her story to make a point that He's a God who sees. What does He do, God? He sends an angel to communicate to who? To Hagar, to let her know you are not alone. He's telling her, giving her directions to go back. But in the midst of going back, He's giving her a promise that her son, right, will be a child that will be great, right? Will be literally cannot be numbered for multitude. So we see God speaking promise. We see God answering. So you too, likewise, I don't know what you're going through right now. I don't know what situation you're in. I don't know what's caused you to feel forgotten or lonely. But I can guarantee this, God's word, I've seen it to be real. I've seen it to be true. I see the righteous will not be forsaken. And so even in moments of harshness, maybe at your job or in your family right now, or in your marriage right now, you're wondering, God, do you even see me? Do you see what's happening to me? The answer is yes. And He will work it out. Do not abandon yourself from God. Remain in Him. Stay connected to Him, because He's a God who sees, who knows, who listens, and who will be there with us in the midst of it. So if you have to go back to that job, that boss that you're working with, that spouse that's being very difficult, maybe pride is just in the midst of your relationship, hold on to God. Stay with God, because He sees you and you are not alone. Thank you for watching another episode here with Faith Life Music. Come back again next week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so that you can stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much.